record to this computer. Okay, so we're recording now. So imagine I was just talking to you for the first time and I heard what you'd said a little while ago. Hey, I run my own company, but I'm looking for ways to retire at some point in time. I like hanging out with my fiance. We're going to get married at some point in time. We live in Colorado. And there is, hey, if we were living in Houston and there was nothing to do, it wouldn't be okay to just keep working. But we live in Colorado and we want to have a lot of fun, right? And there's not enough time to do all that fun stuff. That's why Michelle and I are going to move to Colorado when she retires in a couple of years.
You told me that, yeah. Durango?
Durango area. So it's far enough away that you won't have to see me that often, but it's close enough that you're going to have to put up with me every once in a while.
There you go.
So here's what I would typically say to somebody, Jane, if I was connecting with them and asking them, hey, are you interested in seeing a different way of creating income? Right? And you may have already heard about Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy. Have you heard of him? Yep. So he has a thing called the cash flow quadrant. And so what I'm doing here is explaining how people make money. Because a lot of times people are just focused on this left-hand side. They know people own businesses and make lots of money, but it's not them, right? So I show them this quadrant and how with network marketing, we move them from the left side over to the right side, right? And this will make sense to you, but I'm just showing you what I do so that it can get into your head. And when you're doing like a little pencil drawing to a friend, like they say, oh yeah, well, what is it that you do? And you go, okay, so hey, I partnered with this company. I'll tell you right now, I really just got involved with them initially to get a little healthier and lean out a bit, improve my recovery and performance, but I've been blown away by the products. And now I'm looking at the income opportunity with this and I'm benefiting from that. So if you're interested in income opportunity, that's great, but you might not be. You might just want to try out the products and that's okay too. So like you could say something like that to them. And the reason that works so well is because they can say no to the business up front, but say yes to the product.
Right.
If you're just promoting the product to people and they want to say no to something, well, they just say no to what you're sharing with them and then you got nowhere to go. You can't bring up the opportunity if they just said no to the product, right?
Sure.
That's not going to work. So if we say, hey, so I was an employee a long time ago. I graduated from university in 1990 and I started working for an engineering company and I worked there for 10 years and I eventually quit because, you know, I like what I did, but I was only making $50-something thousand a year and I was working anywhere from 55 to 80 hours a week. And I got 3 weeks vacation. I was like, I didn't see a future. So I became self-employed, but I'm still an employee. I'm still on this side of the curve where 95% of the population is, but they only make 5% of the money, right? And that's linear income. I go to work, I make money, I get paid. If I don't go to work, I don't make money, I don't get paid. So what we want to do is go over here to the business side or even the investor side. This is a bit of a problem because I need money to invest, right? And business owners, it takes a lot of money to run a business. Like you run a business now, it takes a lot of money. There's a lot of hassles and headaches associated with that. So with network marketing, what we do is we show people how to get over to this side of the quadrant where 5% of the people are, but they make 95% of the money. And this is called leverage because you're a business owner or an investor and you're leveraging other people's efforts. So the great thing though about network marketing, other than like as opposed to a business, is if I have people coming into my team, and I've got lots of people on my team, they can actually end up making more money than I do because if they work harder, they're going to get paid more. They're not being suppressed because I own the company, right? Which is good. And then eventually you can move them to becoming an investor as well. But the great thing about this whole thing here is with Isagenix, it's just such a great compensation plan and it's based on work for sure. It's not a get rich quick thing. Isagenix has sold $8 billion worth of product over the last 18 years and they paid out $3 billion in compensation over the last 18 years. So almost half of everything they bring in goes out to the associates, that's their sales force. So if people want to make a lot of money, and we've got over 300 people, I think they're up to 309 now, have made $1 million or more. And when we were at the New Year's kickoff event the other day, and 23 or 24 people were making $1 million or more a year. Right, so that's and thousands have made over six figures. I've made over $800,000 with Isagenix, and I sure can't say that I work hard. Like what I'm doing with you right now is about as hard as I work. It's not complicated. Right. My overhead is pretty low. I'm spending $150 a month on food that I'm eating, and it's helping me look and feel good. to get started, we used to have to pay a $29 membership fee, and they've just waived that now. So if you've got friends who are interested in coming in to get started, let's say they just wanted to purchase a canister of shake for $40. Well, that canister of shake would end up costing them $80 because they'd have to pay a $30 membership fee and add on some shipping. And now they're like, forget it, right?
Sure.
But now it's free. Just buy the products. It's like going to any other online site. Hey, I just want to go to your site, janeupton.isagenix.com, purchase some shakes, try it out. Hey, I love this stuff. What else do you have, right? And you don't really know much about how to share Isagenix or talk about the product. So that's why I put together that Team Inspired Facebook page. And if people,
and I have looked at a lot of that.
Yeah. And if people aren't interested in going to Facebook, then that's not going to work for them. But I'm still always available to do a call like this, a video call or a phone call, or if I was you, I wouldn't know what to send them. So I would just say, hey, Steve, do you have an email that I could fire off to a friend that's looking for blah, blah, blah? Guaranteed I've got that email already done. I'll just forward it off to you, change it from my link to yours, and then you just send it to them. But it helps me to make you successful, right? Right? So like if you just come in and you don't end up being successful and you get all annoyed because nothing's happening, that's not good. So I want to help you make this work. And that's, if I have work to do, that's kind of what I do. And when I'm in this quadrant before that we talked about, I'm still on this side, right? I'm still doing work as I'm sharing packs with people, or I'm training people in my team to be successful. That's work, and I kind of get paid for that. But once you've learned how to do that, then I kind of move up into this business owner area, because you're out there sharing Isagenix with people and I'm not involved. And that's kind of the goal. I don't mind being involved. You're a nice person and I like helping you out. But the whole goal is for me to show you that you actually don't need to be involved in order to create income. Right. And that's that leveraged or residual income that's coming in. So any questions so far? Because I'm going to show you the power of our compensation plan and how it works.
No, it's good.
Okay. And I'm trying to talk Thank you. Because I'm trying to get you off the phone, but I know you're busy, and I know we're recording, so you can listen to it later. So I'm trying to whip through it so I don't take up too much of your time. So here's how I explain. There's a couple different ways of doing it. I like to be more specific. Sometimes people say, have you ever seen the power of a penny doubling, right? They go 2, 4, 8, 16, and they go down and they say, next thing you know, you've got like $10 million coming in. I like to be way more specific though with our comp plan and say, imagine that in a month, you just brought in 2 people, right? And in month 2, and this could happen in a week or a day, but let's assume it's a month, because realistically, it's not easy to go out there in the pockets of your time to share what you've got with people. So I don't want to say you could do it in a week or a day. It can happen in a shorter time, but let's assume it takes a whole month. Because in that month where you're talking to people to find out who's interested in this opportunity, because if you're focusing more on the opportunity than sharing the product, you're going to get the people in that are going to bring in 2 more people each. As if you just bring in people who are interested in the products, you might wait months for them. Like we talk more about the products initially, and you've been in for a long time and you've enrolled 1 person.
Right.
But if I brought you in initially, and I bring in people who are really focused on the opportunity, but if I brought you in more focused on the opportunity, you would have looked for your 2 people right away, right?
Sure.
So, but let's assume you just find 2, right? And Sarah might be one. I haven't followed up with her a whole lot, and she's more focused on the product initially, same thing as you. So I haven't really talked to her about the opportunity. But what I've seen a lot of times is, when somebody, let's say you decide to get going at this and it's working well for you and you're excited, Sarah's going to be a lot more likely to be excited because you're close by, she knows you, and she might want to, I'll share that as well. If it's working for you, I'd like to. Right. But as you're looking for your 2 people, you're going to bring in a Sarah, right? And you're going to bring in another person, let's say Jerry. Is it J or G?
It's J.
So
Jerry.
Yeah, let's assume he only I'll try a shake, right? He could just order it through your account. He doesn't need to get his own account, but with free membership, you might as well. But over time, as you're looking for your 2 people, maybe you end up bringing in Angela and Bill, or the 2 that end up sharing, but you're going to have all these other product users. That's additional money that's going to come into your account from those people ordering products. But for the purposes of this, let's assume that doesn't happen. You just find 2 people. Okay. Right. I'll tell you now, because if I was you and I was watching through what I'm about to do, I'd go, well, it's not going to work that way. It can't, right? And I would agree with you. So at the end, I'm going to say, let's assume you're 90% unsuccessful. It's still a pretty good, okay? But let's assume over the course of a year, so we'll just put the numbers of the months down here. So we're going to get to 12. And if you bring in 2 and they bring in 2 each, and you show them with my help how to bring in their 2, and you show them how to bring in 2, we're just going to double that each month. Now, up to about here, there's really not a lot going on, right? 64 people in your team ordering 100 BV worth of product. I've got thousands, right? That's not a lot of money coming into your team. So in the next stage, if we have time, I'm going to show you the bonuses that Isagenix pays out to people to make it worth the while to get started on this period so they can make that thousands or tens of thousands of dollars earlier to make up for the fact that their team's small and they're not making much on that residual, okay? But right here, though, I'm just going to show you the power of bringing in 2 people and teaching them to do the same. Because a lot of times people think, man, I'm going to have to sell a lot of shakes to make enough money for this to be worthwhile, right?
Sure.
But if all you did is bring in 2 people and that expands, and when you get bored of bringing in 2 people and teaching them to do the same thing, maybe you bring in 2 more here, right? And then it expands again, right? It keeps going. But let's assume that you're just bringing in 2, right? And then we're going to go 256, 512, 1,024. So these are the people coming into your team on that month. So in October, for example, you have and then 248, and then 4,096. And so then at the end of the year, you'd have 8,190 people in your team. Again, I'm going to, when I get to the amount of what that means, because I'd be like, well, what does that mean in terms of dollars? I don't care about the number of people. Hey, that's great that I'm impacting that many people, but what's that paying me? So I'll show you in a minute. So if everybody's ordering 100 BV, right, then that's 819,000 BV business volume, and we get paid $54 on every 900 BV. Okay. That's 910 cycles. And a cycle is the $54, so that's 227 and a half cycles per week. And I got it written down over here because I can't calculate stuff that quickly. It's $12,285 per week based on the volume. Now, the record in the company is this, right? She did $1 million in 14 months. She came over from a network marketing company, Arbonne. She was this quiet little occupational therapist, lived in Blair, Nebraska. There were more cows than people in that area. But she just wanted to retire. I think she was in her 40s or something, and she just got into network marketing in Arbonne, skincare. And
I know Arbonne.
Yep. And then realized over time, because that's a publicly traded company, and they have to satisfy shareholders that want their profit. So their compensation plan is just kept getting decreased or lowered or tightened up. Whereas Isagenix, it's going the other way. We're just keep expanding how much we're paying people. So last week, they added another $13,000 for people to get as a bonus each year. I'm going to go over that next if we have time. But as I mentioned, imagine you're 90% unsuccessful. That's still $1,228 per week. And all you did is find 2 people. Right? So just to see the power, because a lot of times, again, people think, probably what you were thinking, that's a lot of shakes I'm going to have to sell to make this worth my while. I don't have the time, right? But if you're focusing more on who do I know that's looking for an opportunity to improve their health and their financial situation, or the way I like to ask people is, who's looking for a way to improve their way of generating income? I'll show them the difference between being an employee and being a business owner, and then the power of the network marketing model of people talking to people. And then what I say to them, and I like to be really sort of transparent about this, you're not going to make a lot of money in the first few months, right? From that volume, the 900 BV. So we have these bonuses that kick in, but this in terms of Isagenix is really powerful because you get paid 6%. The way that works out, that money, that 12,000 or 1,200, depending on how you look at it, is about 6% of the volume on all the orders that are happening through your team. So if you're familiar with network marketing, you mentioned Arbonne, different network marketing companies pay certain percentages based on the sales in your organization. So with Isagenix, 6%. And so you're in our team, right? So you're in our left leg, I think. Yeah, I got a little chart over there. So I'm up here, right? And let's say you're here. Everybody that we bring in on our left team underneath you goes underneath you, and you've got a right team as well. And I can't remember if Sarah's in your left team or your right team.
Sarah's the right team.
So she's in your right, okay. So you need to have at least one person in your left. So at the end of the line here, you could put Jerry, for example, for now, and then you're gonna put more people, and you're gonna put more people here. But you get paid on everything in your team, 6%, okay? And this isn't gonna make necessarily sense, but because we're recording it, you can always look back, so I just wanted to say it now. There's 2 catches for our compensation plan. I always wanna tell people the catch, because there's every compensation plan has a catch, okay?
Sure.
I was in a company called Juice Plus before I was in Isagenix. Awesome product.
Yeah, I had a friend who did that too, yeah.
Great product, loved what it did for me, but it took me about 4 months to feel a difference. And that wasn't quick enough for me to be able to build a business on. So
right.
For Juice Plus, though, they paid us 11 levels deep. So at the top level, like let's say, I'll use this as an example. In the top level, they paid us 8%. So that was more than Isagenix at 6%, but it was 8% on a small number of people. All right?
Okay.
And then in the mid-range, they paid us 4%, so half as much. And then at the end, and it only went down to 11 levels, they paid us 1%. So at the top, you got paid a higher percentage on hardly anybody, right? And at the bottom where you got all your people, you're only getting paid 1%. And then after the 11 levels, you got paid nothing. So that's the big catch.
No motivation there.
That's right. That's a big catch. So what I ended up doing is to create more lines, I brought in 52 people. So I had 52 different teams. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So to make more money. Sure. And so that's the limitations for a lot of other network marketing companies. Some of them, what they do is they flush your volume every month. Isagenix, you keep it. So like if you've been ordering 100 BV a month, you've been banking up volume in that left leg. You don't lose it. It's just there, right? But there is 2 catches. So one of them is we have a 2/3, 1/3 binary system. So your left leg is so much bigger than your right leg because you've only got one person in it and you've got dozens in your left leg. If you get more than twice as much volume coming up one leg as the other, you're only going to get paid on the smaller leg, which makes sense. Like you don't want people coming into the company that aren't doing anything, getting paid on all that volume that's accumulating out their bigger leg. Because what that would do is lower the amount of money that the people that were working were able to make. So you want that to be. However, what's really cool about our system is you do bank it. So let's say you're here and you've got a big left team. You can bank up to 150,000 BV, business volume, right? Which is a lot. That's, I don't know how much is that? That's 150,000 divided by 600, 250 cycles times $54. That's $13,500 sitting in your left leg. If you accumulate more than that, every time you get your 100th cycle, it gets knocked down to 150,000, which isn't a big deal because let's say you've only got Sarah in your right leg and it starts to grow, and this leg is generating say 200,000 BV over every period. You keep accumulating, it gets just knocked down to 150. That's still a lot of money left in there. When I started, it got knocked down to 12,000 BV or 12,000.
Okay.
So by them only knocking it down to 150, that's not a big deal because it's still so much bigger than your other leg. So that's the only other catch. Keep your legs balanced, 2/3 to 1/3, and then try and keep up with the bigger leg. That's the only catches. Those are the only 2 catches that we've got in our compensation plan. Others, some of them are called breakaways. So let's say you were in my team and you took off with this and you started doing better than me, you would break away from my team because I wasn't able to stay ahead of you. And then I would stop getting paid on you. That would totally suck.
Right? I don't see that happening.
Oh no. But let's say you brought somebody in. Let's say you brought somebody in that was a superstar and they want to make way more money than you do with this. you would benefit
Uh-huh.
from an isogenics, but in another, if it was a breakaway type compensation plan, they would break away from your team and you would stop getting paid on them. So you brought them in. The company keeps making money off what they're doing, but you stop making money off them. That's not good.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not good.
Breakaways are bad. Anyway, so I'm going to just quickly go over the different bonuses that are available, because like I said, you're not making much money in the first few months. So what Isogenics has done is they've added about $30,000 in bonuses that weren't there when I came through building up my team, in order to help people create some income up front. Okay. So because you were in, this is really applicable to you. And how many minutes do you have? Like 5 or 10?
No, I'm good for another half hour if you are. So
yeah,
whatever you got.
Yeah, I'm good until 1 o'clock your time. So about half an hour.
Okay.
But I won't take that much of your time up. So we've got a crystal reset. So when you came in and upgraded your account to associate, this clock started ticking about giving you bonuses. And there's about $2,000 in bonuses that you can get. And again, that's not the end of the world, right? But for people who are looking for ways to pay for their product and create some income until their team gets bigger, $2,000 is awesome, right? So when you come in here, just so that so you can picture what's going on, and forget about all the other people that I've added down your left team. Imagine they don't exist. That's just extra volume for you, right? What you're trying to do is create a position where you've got 2 people on your team. That makes you a consultant. So you only have Sarah in there now. Let's say, just for sake of an argument, Jerry decided to come in because he's curious about this. He comes in. If Sarah's ordering 100 BV worth of product each month, and Jerry is, then you become a consultant. Okay. You get a $50 bonus on top of any commission that you get for whatever pack they get. But let's assume they just buy some products and they're not really getting a big pack, right? If you did that within 30 days of joining and becoming an associate, then you get $100 instead of $50. So that's good for people who are coming in and want to grow their team fast. Okay. If we help Sarah bring in 2 people and Jerry find 2 people, then you become what's called a manager. And if you did that within 60 days, right? So that's a manager. If it's within 60 days, you get a $250 bonus. And now it's been way more than 60 days since you became an associate, but they reset the start date this past weekend. So now you have another 60 days to do that. So if you had 2 people coming in that were sharing Isogenics, and I'll help you with it, then you get that $250 plus you get $100 every time you create a consultant. So Jerry becomes a consultant, you get $100 from Isogenics because you helped him become consultant. Same thing for Sarah. So that's another $200. And then if you brought in 6 consultants, right? So there's 2. So you add another 4, you get to what's called director. And that's within 120 days. So this one's March 22nd. Now that's the deadline, right? And this one here is May 17th. So if you can get to director by May 17th, so add another 4 consultants on. Again, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple, right? You're just, if you know some friends who are looking for ways to generate some extra income, you're like, hey, I don't really know how to explain it. Let me show you this video that my friend Steve did, and it outlines what this is all about, but this is what I'm doing, right? It's actually better that you don't explain too much of it because it's easier for them to think they can do it. You get to director, you get another $750 plus another $400 because you're adding in 4 more consultants. And then you get here, if you get to another 4, right, then you get to what's called executive. And you don't need to remember all this stuff. You got the recording, so that's going to help a lot. But all I want you to see really is, oh my gosh, there's thousands of dollars to make it worth my while sharing this with a couple people to see if they're interested. So that it's not just, oh, I'm making $10 because they bought some shakes off me. No, thank you. Right?
Sure. So, no, I get it.
So the executive is $1,000. So you add another 4 people. So plus 4, add another 4 people. Now you're up to 10, and you get another $400. So that's $3,000 right there, helping a team of 10 workers, I guess. We call them committed consumer coaches, right? They're committed to using the products, and they're coaching other people to do the same thing. I did that in 2 months when I first came in. I was super busy with my coaching business. I didn't have the time to do it, but I was looking 5-10 years down the road and thinking, I'm going to expire if I keep working this hard. And that was back when I was 40. So that's just one of the bonuses. Here's another one. When you get to that 10, that executive level, they have a brand new bonus that's called the executive, and I'm just writing it out so that it's on your recording here. Lifestyle bonus. Okay. You probably can't read that, but anyways, it's executive lifestyle.
I can bonus. Actually.
Okay, good. And they've never had this. They just introduced this last weekend. I've been an executive since I joined the company 13 years ago. I would have made an extra almost $130,000 with them if they had this in when I started. It's crazy.
Wow.
So by just getting to executive and maintaining that position, you get $750 per month. And then the second month, you get $750. And then the third month that you're an executive in a row, you get $1,000. And then they repeat it, $750, $750, $1,000. So every quarter, so every 3 months, you get $1,000 the third month. So that's $10,000 per year that they just added for getting to executive. Like, that's amazing.
Okay, that is good.
It's pretty sweet. And imagine, and this has happened because I did it, and I think you can do it too with my help, because I didn't have somebody like me helping me along the way when I got started. So if you had, like, let's say you were interested in trying this out, and you had some people that are interested, you get 10 people focusing in on using the product to be able to participate in this. That's the easiest way to do this, because you're not farting around with people. I don't like the taste of the cleanse. The shake is too thick, and I don't like strawberry. Right. I got started.
So
go ahead. Yeah.
Can I just ask you a question about the 2 legs? So I know that you put people below me on the left-hand side, and that Sarah's the only one on the right-hand side. But where did those people come from, and did you put them there to help me get started, or is it?
Yes and
like,
no.
What's that?
Yeah,
what's that doing?
Yeah. So I only have 2 legs, just like you have 2 legs. And because you're in my left team, the next person I bring in, after I enrolled you, I brought in a lady named Emma. She works at a hospital. I don't think she's a nurse. I think she's a radiologist or something, and a runner. So she came in, and I'm like, am I going to put her in my left leg, or am I going to put her in my right leg? No, I'll put her in my left leg, because I usually just go back and forth, right? So let's say this is you, right? I put in Emma here, because that was my next spot. So I'm up here.
Okay, so that's why. Okay, I get it.
And then after Emma, I enrolled a lady named Maria, who used to work with my wife, Michelle. And then I enrolled a lady named Becky, a tennis instructor. I'm talking to her tonight. She's doing a cleanse day today, actually. And then I enrolled a guy in Utah named Bryson. He's a Latter-day Saint, I think, and he just came back from a mission, and he's looking to build muscle. so he's down.
Okay.
All these people have to go underneath your left leg, and then I'm up here. I've got thousands of people between me and you here, and then if I'm putting somebody in my right leg, they go down that right leg, but that doesn't help you, right?
Right. So okay, got it.
The right leg and the left leg. So if you're adding somebody, you got to go down to the end of the left leg. So that might be where Jerry goes. Right?
But why would I add him there instead of the right side?
Because you have to have at least 100 BV of orders from people you've enrolled coming up each leg, right?
Okay.
So it would be the same thing. Like, the fact that I added people under here to help you, it's beneficial for you, because I need to put people either under my left leg or my right leg, and the same thing you do. So if you want to remember I said there's 10 consultants gets you to an executive?
Yeah.
So you're going to have 5 in one leg and 5 in the other. Up to executive, you can, for these, the manager position, which is 2 consultants, you can have them both in your right leg. Like, you can put, let's say Jerry just wants to be a product user, but you're trying to catch up with all that volume coming up your left leg. You got Sarah here. You could put your friend Bill here, and he builds a position. So you got Sarah's a consultant and Bill's a consultant. You got two consultants, you're a manager. But when director, you can have 6 of your consultants in your right leg
Yep.
And just a product user doing 100 BV in your left, you're still active and getting paid. But to get to executive, that's that top position that I'm at, you have to have at least 5 consultants in each leg. Because the company wants people to help contribute to that bigger leg. Because if you just bring in somebody, like let's say I just brought you in and I didn't have to keep building up both legs to help people, or people above you didn't have to, they would just put people on their inside leg, but they would miss out on the comp plan because they're not able to be an executive because they're not building up both legs. So we want you to build up both legs because it helps balance out your team, but it helps contribute to the volume from the people that are underneath you as well.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep, that's a great question though. And then, so here's another bonus that Isogenics has got. It's really good. And I'm just looking at the time there. So we've got the manager. So when you get to manager and you've got 2 consultants in your team, they have another bonus called the manager pool, and you can make up to $1,000 per month for 3 months in that pool. And the way that works is you get points that go into $75,000 that the company set aside every month for the managers. And so what happens is that $75,000, it takes all the points that you've gotten as a manager. Let's say you advance to manager. And it takes all the points that other managers in the company have gotten and divides all those points into $75,000 to figure out how much is a point worth. And then you get up to $1,000. Like maybe you got $1,500 in points. Well, they're just going to pay you $1,000 because they want to keep paying people, as many people as possible, right? So without getting too complicated, you don't have to. You're not going to understand what I'm about to say, but because it's recording, you can go back and watch it. It takes to get more points. You're going to figure out how many enrollments you get, how many personal rank advancements you get. So let's say you help Sarah become a consultant. That's a point, right? So your enrollments, your rank advancements, your cycle growth. So how much your cycles are growing from one month to the next, because they want to reward growth. They want to reward enrollments and rank advancements in growth, right? So let's say you grow a cycle a week. Over the course of 4 weeks, you get 4 points. If you let's say you enroll 2 people and rank advance 1, and your cycles grow by 4, and then weeks at manager, maybe you're a manager for all 4 weeks of the month. So you're going to go 2 times 1 is 2 times 4, that's 8 times 4 is 32. It's a good job I don't have to keep track of how I get paid.
That is a good, yeah.
I'm probably the worst math person I know. So your 32 points would go into that $75,000 to figure out your point value. Okay.
So it's really call it a bonus pool.
Yep. Yep. And so and again, it's all designed to reward people who are working better. Like if you're like when I was working for that engineering company, I work 80 hours in a week. I'm not getting paid twice as much than my 40-hour salary, which kind of sucks, but the company wants to reward people. So the director pool is exactly the same. It works the same amount of money, but they pay you up to $2,500 per week for 3 months, right? So if you only get, 2 points and a point's worth $50, well, you're only going to get $100, right?
Right.
I don't know what the points are worth because it depends on how many people that are getting points. And then the last bonus, there's more. I love that. There's more. So the last bonus that they've got is called the rank advancement bonus. And as you cycle, so remember I said every 900 points, you get $54. So when you cycle 5 times, that's worth $270, 5 times 54, right? The first time you cycle 5 times, they pay you an extra $250. The second time, they pay you an extra $250. When you cycle 10 times, they pay you an extra $500. The second time, you get an extra $500. When you cycle 20 times in a week, you get an extra $1,000. Again, they're rewarding you for growing your volume. Again, the second time. And when you get to 40 cycles, you're getting an extra $1,500. And then the second time, you get an extra $1,500. So that's another $6,500. So all of those bonuses, the reset, the creating consultants, for the first 40 consultants that you create, you get $100 for each one. So that's $4,000. you get the manager pool. If you max out on all those, you probably won't, but if you did, and all these bonuses, that's $33,000 that I probably would have made in my first year, but didn't exist. Right?
Wow. Okay.
So it's all possible. Like, I just look back at my growth and I was like, wow, this is awesome that they're doing this for people, because it's going to make it a lot easier for people to say, yeah, this is worth my time and effort because I need to create some income now. And yeah, I don't mind waiting a little bit to create the volume in my team and get paid on that residual, but I need money now. Right?
Right.
And when I started years ago, they didn't have all this. So people looked at the comp plan and went, yeah, but I need money now. I got to go do something else because this isn't going to work for me. But
right.
When I started, they were doing $1 million a week in Isogenics in sales, right? I think they were at $52 million a year that year back in 2007. And now they do about $2 to $3 million a day in sales.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot more for them. And good on them for putting that money back into the compensation plan to pay people rather than going, hey guys, thanks for working so hard. You just made us even richer. So,
yeah.
Anyways, and so Isogenics, actually, they're doing so well and they're so excited about growing their lines. They just bought a company up in, I think I mentioned the other day, Z-Jet International out of Utah. It's a big plant-based nutrition company. So they're going to be increasing their plant-based line, which is, it's not a big deal for me because I don't mind eating meats and things, but we do have plant-based shakes here, and their Isogenics makes some good products that are plant-based. So it's not like I don't mind doing it, but I know there's a lot of people out there that want plant-based options, and we've got a lot of those now. So anyways.
That's great. Okay.
So I wanted to go over that. I'll stop the recording here because that was kind of more of the